Hey guys, gotta get my microphone. Ultimate and Extreme Collectibles here. You'll notice we did do a name change. We're slowly going to phase out the Ultimate and just go to Extreme. However, over the next 30 days, you're going to see Ultimate and Extreme both on the logo and the videos kind of mixed together. So don't forget who I am. I guess it's okay. I'm very forgettable. But anywho, today's a little bit different video if you can't tell. First of all, I'm standing. I know my ensemble doesn't match because I wanted to put on a coat to cover up the logoed shirt I was wearing. Very secret. My job. Shh. With that being said, right behind me is a badass piece. This is Han Solo, carbonite. I actually was fortunate enough to meet him about 8 months ago. He was here in the city that I live in, just walking around downtown with his lovely wife, Callista Flockhart, and he actually spoke to me. I ran across the street, I walked up to him, nobody noticed him, and I asked for a selfie, because of course I want a profile Facebook picture of him and I'm sure he wanted one as well, but then he said the 3 words I'll never forget: no thank you. I am assuming he didn't want the crowd to bum rush him because he wanted a picture with me just as bad as I wanted with him. So we're going to go with that. However, I didn't get a picture with him, so I got him to come back here and froze him in carbonate. Today, I'm going to talk about Star Wars autographed memorabilia. Autographed memorabilia was kind of my gateway into statues. This is not autographed right here, but I thought it's a great piece to start this session with because we're going to look at the different Star Wars autographed memorabilia I have. I'm a big collector of not only statues but memorabilia if you look at my About page. So with that, actually I forgot to turn this guy on. Blinding. Does that look better? Any of those? Probably looks like shit on camera. But anyway, this is Han Solo. We're not going to review him. We're going to look at the different Star Wars autographed memorabilia. On a side note, I'm not going to do a room tour anytime soon. Well, it'll be about 2 months. A lot of people have been asking. I'm waiting for some Maji cases to come in to put all my statues on display. But today you'll get a little bit rough layout of a few different parts of my room with this memorabilia in it, which might give you a little bit of an idea, but it's a pretty large man cave. I'm fortunate that my wife granted me that. Because let's face it, men that are married, she's the boss. Yes? Yes. So with that, let's jump into autographed Star Wars memorabilia. Extreme and Ultimate Collectibles here. If you bored yourself through the intro, you know this is a special video, but probably one of many we're going to start doing. Today we're not looking at statues, we're looking at autographed memorabilia. Specifically, Star Wars autographed memorabilia. So first I want to apologize for the lighting. I'm doing this in kind of a weird fashion, and again, I don't know what to do with my hands. Gang signs, spirit fingers, what. But we're doing this in kind of a weird fashion, so the lighting's a little bit off. I'm in a basement, it's hard to get good lighting. Sun's already going down at 5 o'clock in the mountains because it's winter. But back here I have one of my favorite music composers of all time. He's kind of the James Cameron of movie soundtracks. His name is John Williams. And on a side note, if you ever meet anyone named John Williams, they are probably one of the sexiest, funniest, most intelligent men you will ever meet. I just think that's how I flow. However, this is a guitar pick signed by John Williams. On another note, all of my autographed memorabilia, at least 95% of it, is authenticated by one of the top companies, whether that's JSA, PSA, Beckett, can't remember the sports one off the top of my head, but there's a lot of forgeries out there, so you want to make sure you avoid that. So buy from reputable companies. eBay's really scary because there's a lot of forgeries that happen with that. But anyway, I have a supplier that I go through for about 50% of my memorabilia, and he takes good care of me. And I had them fashion a frame, we'll do a close-up here, that has some of my favorite John Williams soundtracks. And he has a lot that even aren't on here, but some of the most famous ones obviously include Jaws, Superman, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, and of course he wrote the Star Wars soundtrack, the iconic Star Wars track. And there's quite a few more, as I said, some that aren't on here, including, you know, everything from Schindler's List to Home Alone to the Olympic fanfare theme. This guy is just a musical genius. If you ever get an opportunity to hear him compose live, or even hear like a local orchestra play some of his songs, I advise you to book tickets right away. And I'm not promoting John Williams at all. I would never promote someone named John Williams. But anyway, this is my first piece. I keep this in what's called my music room, my music and poker room. There are statues in here, as you can see, because they kind of overtake everything when you have a statue buying problem. But I have all my autographed music in this room, which eventually one day you'll see, from, you know, Michael Jackson to Eminem to Pink, and it goes on and on. So this is my first Star Wars autograph piece. The other one is actually, not the other one, but the other few are all together from the movies, and they're right by the entrance. So let's head over there and take a look. So we moved over to the lightsaber display, and again, I apologize about the lighting. I actually had the lightsabers turned on initially too, but there's a lot of noise and interference from that, so we're just going to go ahead and keep them off for the video. You'll also see I have a few statues in the area that are in temporary places until some of those Maji cases arrive. However, these are 3 different lightsabers from the different movies. They're from characters that I really liked. I'm not going to get into a big argument for anyone that wants to comment of which movie, you know, was horrible, which movie was good. Obviously, unless you think the original 3 sucked, then you can try and argue it and you can get crucified alive, because 3 of the best films of all time. However, with that being said, let's kind of look at what we have. So here, over here on the far left, I have the Kylo Ren lightsaber, and this is signed on the actual tube by Adam Driver, the actor who played him. Very, very cool piece. And I actually will be moving this to a different position when some of the Maji cases come up, so it's vertical, or so it's horizontal, I apologize, and you can see his name quite easily. Then on the other side of the display, you have Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill signed this one on the hilt. Very, very cool. This one's going to stay in its current place of how it's going to be displayed, but I'm very excited to have this. It's an iconic part of growing up in the 20th century. And then lastly, as you see right here, I have this display with the lightsaber hilt signed by Daisy Ridley, who played Rey in obviously the newest movies. The Last Jedi is what this one is from. Again, I'm a big fan of these 3 characters. Doesn't mean I necessarily love the movies that much, even though I am a loyal Star Wars fan. And I love the display that it comes in. It kind of just makes it pop. So very, very proud of these guys. And these are not the Shining Star yet. So let's move on to the Shining Star. And this is the Shining Star of my Star Wars autograph memorabilia collection. It arguably may be one of my Shining Stars of all my autograph memorabilia, but I absolutely love it. I know the lighting's really bad with I'm here, so I'm going to do some close-ups on each one. But it's basically a collage, a mosaic of some of the famous actors from the original trilogy. And it has Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo, Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO, Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca, obviously the late Princess Leia, played by Carrie Fisher, Frank Oz, who's the puppeteer for Yoda. Again, I have a Mark Hamill signature, and then I have George Lucas, and of course James Earl Jones. So to zoom in on each one, starting with Han Solo's pistol, which I absolutely love. This is a very, very rare piece. I'm very excited to have it. It's Beckett authenticated. There's a lot of fake ones out there, but Harrison Ford signed the gun itself, and I love this part of the display. Then I have a photo from Return of the Jedi during the Endor scene with Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, obviously. He signed it, C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, and then Carrie Fisher. This is PSA certified, so that's one of the, probably the top authentication company out there. And then in the middle, I have Yoda and Luke Skywalker, so Mark Hamill and Frank Oz in the Dagobah system, and this is Beckett authenticated. Very cool photo. Then I have James Earl Jones' mask, and this one is PSA authenticated as well, but very cool addition. I would have liked you know, this is obviously a toy mask. It would have been really cool if I had something cooler like a replica mask, but still, absolutely love it. And then lastly, I have George Lucas, PSA certified, and this is in kind of a Star Wars prop room. So this is one of the coolest photos I've ever seen, and this alone would be an awesome collectible, not to mention all these together. So the last thing I didn't mention is there is a decorative lightsaber hilt right here. So the handle, it's not signed by anybody, but it's just kind of, it was missing something. I worked on the art direction of how I wanted them to put this together, and I collected all these items. So that sums up my Star Wars autographed memorabilia collection. I hope you liked it. Please feel free to make any positive or negative comments, and I hope to do a lot more videos on my memorabilia collection to add in with the statues. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't. Take care.